Well, Joe, first, I'm expecting it to be a great time because me and BP will be at the game together. So I can guarantee you, regardless of what happens, it's going to be fun for the two of us. But as far as the game is concerned, listen, like Duke on the road the last couple seasons has been a great fate. Like, I mean, you go back to the beginning of last year, they scored a couple of wins toward the end of last year on the road, but man, under Shire, they've really struggled away from home. And right through like January, I don't think they had like a road cover last year for quite some time. It's been the same thing so far this year. Three true road games, 0-3 against the spread, two outright losses to Arkansas and Georgia Tech. And they did not look good on the road over the weekend against Notre Dame. They won that game, but not in impressive fashion, shooting just 35.6%. I really actually felt like, if you didn't know that Duke was Duke and Notre Dame was Notre Dame in that game, I would have felt like I was watching two relative equals. And the odds maker said that there was a 15-point difference between the two. It was a pretty even game, like the entire game, and it goes back to shot selection hasn't been great on the road. They're not crushing people on the glass, which I'll get into in a minute. I mean, remember, that's a Notre Dame team that has losses to Western Carolina and the Citadel. Not a good basketball team this year. They're an improving basketball team, but that's a team that Duke should handle, and they didn't. Some would say Syracuse is a team that Duke should handle, and they didn't really handle them either. I mean, that's a very deceiving final score. Duke wins that game by 20, but it was a 2-point game at halftime. And, Syracuse and Pitt have some similarities. But again, I think it goes back to the point where, Duke coming into the Notre Dame game had covered 5 straight games. But the Cuse game wasn't, overly convincing. And then I was at the Duke Baylor game, and that was a game where Baylor had a 6-point lead, and Duke got about every call for a 5-minute stretch to flip a 6-point deficit into a 7-point lead. And if they don't call a shooting foul against Filipowski, Duke may have gone down 10, and who knows, may have even lost that game. So I think Duke is inflated from that run. I think they've been a little bit fortunate to win in the manner they've won, right? Like go back to the Baylor game. They ended up pulling away, winning by 8. There's a game against Queens University. They won by like 1,000. Okay. Like a couple big double-digit covers, beating Syracuse by 20. And now they're going to have to go on the road where they've struggled against a Pitt team that does have an in to playing well against Duke in this game, and that's rebounding. Duke's outside the top 200 in total rebounds on the season, and Pitt will absolutely destroy you on the glass. That's if there's going to be one edge in this game to be had, it's going to be Pitt's ability to rebound and put pressure on Duke that way. Now, Pitt's offense has not been good. And that's, I guess would be the concern. Can Pitt put the ball in the basket? And you know what, though? They're at home. Like, if there's ever going to be a game where they're going to get it going a little bit offensively, it's probably a big home game like this one. So I'll need a little bit of good fortune, I suppose, there, like with Pitt, like actually hitting their shots. But I'll tell you right now, Hinson, Carrington, Leggett, Zach Austin, the kid that transferred from High Point, the Diaz-Graham brothers, they can all rebound. And Duke is not a good rebounding team. I think Pitt's going to hang around in this game. I think right now the opener is 5, maybe 5.5. I haven't really shopped it around yet, but I'll be on the Pitt Panthers in person tomorrow night. I think they are going to make this a total scrap, make it ugly, and keep it within 5 points against Duke. Maybe even get the outright win.